Hi, everybody. We're here today with Luca. He's gonna be telling us a little bit more about the experience working with remote talent Latam. So let's get started, Luca. And if you can tell us a little bit about you and the company that you run.
Yeah. So thanks for inviting me to the call. Um, yeah, my name is Luca. I am a partner of a digital agency based in New York, but we have team members around the country and now around the world. Um, we specialize in helping restaurants with their digital marketing. So the main things that we work with them on are their content, organic social, their paid ads, and their emails. Um, and we've been around for about 7 years now.
Awesome. Sounds pretty good. It's a lot of
Yeah,
time. And
yeah.
let me ask you something. What was your biggest issue when you were trying to add a new team member to your team?
Um, yeah, I mean, a couple things. So one, I think in general, it's just like very time consuming to find the right talent. So in the past, I have, with our previous team members that we've had, I've sort of handled the hiring process myself. So, put up the job description, vetted the initial candidates, scheduled the first interview, second interview, and it's honestly just super time consuming to go through, and um, but it's important. Like you need to make sure that you're getting like good quality people are that can deliver for our clients and that mesh well with our team. Um, and yeah, I mean that was really what we were doing before.
Yeah, a lot of time, manual work, and the like.
Yeah,
And you
a
also
lot of
run the agency, so I guess
exactly.
it's
And
either you
you know,
doing the job or someone in your team. And yeah, I see that a lot. Very often. Let me ask you something. Once we started the process, we recruit the first person that we recruited for you was Michael, who's a senior graphic designer, senior graphic lead. Can you tell me a little
yeah,
bit more about what was the experience in the recruiting process, and then how is it working with Michael?
yeah. So the recruiting process was great. So this was our first hire when I came to you. It was our first hire for a non-US based employee. Um, so obviously with the first time, there's always like the unknowns, but I think you and your team did like a really good job at um, answering all of my initial questions of any concerns that I would have, and just letting me know about like what the process was going to be and how um, it really ended up being not too different from hiring somebody locally. Um, and I mean, working with Michael is great. Like really the entire process was pretty seamless, and it saved me a ton of time. Um, so I think you presented a lot of good candidates. I know I think I had interviewed at least like three that you had brought to me. Um, and then yeah, Michael seemed like the best fit for what we needed. And that was probably about maybe 6 months ago. Um, and
Probably, yeah.
he's been great. Yeah, he hit the ground running, is like a huge asset to our team. He's done a lot of things that clients have been like really really happy with. Um, yeah, and it's honestly nothing but a positive experience.
Awesome. Is he doing client facing work?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, he has been. He's honestly, there's no difference from. I didn't really need to change the expectations of the role of hiring somebody locally. Um, you know, he, I looped him in on client emails. He's joined client calls. He's very independent. Um, a lot of like very proactive with his ideas that he's bringing to the table of not just for what he can do for clients, but also what he can do for our agency for internal things of you know helping with our web design, helping with our own emails, um, which is great. Yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember you told me that at that time you used to work with people and employees from outside the U.S. and then they were good at following instructions, but you needed someone were who's going to really help you come up with strategies and ideas and being proactive. So I
yeah,
guess that was if you can tell me a little bit more about that, like the difference between just following your instructions and then having someone in your team who's actually gonna come up with ideas and strategies.
yeah. So we had worked with a couple of freelancers or like contractors previously for this same type of work. So for graphic design or video editing, uh, and yeah, kind of like you said, for our experience was, and I don't know if it's part of it could be on me. Like I'm not a recruiter, and I don't always know like the best interview questions to ask, um, and making sure that somebody is going to actually meet the needs that we want. So I'll take some of the blame for for those, but yeah, like you said, like a lot of what we experienced was they were good at the technical aspects of it. Like, they knew how to use Photoshop, they knew how to use InDesign, um, but they needed a lot of direction. Um, and at that point, that was a couple years ago in our agency, I had the bandwidth to provide a little bit more like guidance of directly what we needed. But as we've kind of grown, like I've needed to take a step back, and I don't always have the time to help people with like their day to day. Yeah, they just need a lot of like I don't want to say hand holding, but we needed to
Hmm.
tell them like exactly what we needed, very literally, and they were good at doing that. But as we've gotten into more complex campaigns, it's nice to have somebody that can just like be independent, come up with like original concepts, original strategies, and our clients have been really happy about it.
Awesome. That sounds good. And what do you think has been, let's say, 6 months after he joined your team? What's the biggest ROI from your perspective? You mentioned you save a lot of time in the recruiting process, but now that he's been with you 6 months, what's the biggest ROI from your end? You see, like he's helping your company making more money. He's having, of course, saving money. What's your
Yeah,
take on that?
honestly, all the above. So I would say personally, like my own personal time, like it saves me a lot of time where I'm not worrying or second guessing if like the design needs of our clients are being met. So it's just a big like mental load off of my plate on a day to day basis. Um, we've also been able to like offer some new services um, with the design work that he's doing. So we took on some new menu design projects and like in-store signage projects that we haven't traditionally done in the past. So that's just like brand new revenue that we haven't done. Um, and obviously the cost savings of what we when we were looking to hire a designer locally, huge cost savings of probably 50-60% the upfront expense of hiring somebody.
Sounds pretty good. And then we also managed to hire like a second person for your team. I think she's doing great. And then we
Yeah,
also going into a third. So I think
yeah,
we're definitely
yeah.
going on the right track, helping
No,
you, grow the business, which is our main goal.
yeah. I
Uh,
think yeah, I mean nothing but a great experience. So I think it kind of like opened the door and realized that this is a great option um, for building our team.
awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Luca, for your time. It was a pleasure speaking with you. And thank you again. Have a good
Yeah.
one.